Okay, I would like to introduce you to your pencils. So, HB, this is the most common type of pencil. It's the one you used in grade school when you were a kid. It is a pencil that has a nice weight to it. It gives you some good darkness, but it doesn't need to be sharpened all the time. And it is a very handy pencil. It's the reason why it is the most popular pencil on the market, the HB. Now, the H stands for hardness, the B stands for black. I have a 2H and an H here. In the range of pencils, the farther on the H side you go, like a 6H or an 8H, the harder the lead is here. Okay, and with the H pencils, they are very good for things like when you are doing drafting. You know, when you're using a ruler and you are doing architectural drawings, this range of pencils, the H pencils, are extremely handy. But they do not mark up the paper in terms of darkness very easily because the lead is so hard. Okay, so again, they're very good for diagrammatic drawings. They're maybe not so good for more artistic drawings, as you will see. Okay, for those, we start going into the B range, and I have a set of pencils that go from HB to 8B. Okay, and so I'll go to a B pencil, which is the next one darker from HB. Another good pencil, gives you good darkness, doesn't necessarily need to be sharpened a lot. The farther into the B range you go, you get richer, darker colors, but you lose your point very quickly. Okay, I had an art teacher when I was in high school. I went to an arts high school, and he said that the H pencils were like nails, and the B pencils, like your 6B and your 8B, I'm gonna go for a 6B now, were like eyeliners. They were so greasy and thick, and so you could get really rich, dark blacks very quickly. Okay. So that's a 6B, and this is the 8B, which is the darkest pencil generally you get in commercial sets. Okay, so it is definitely worth getting a set of pencils that go into the darker ranges, into the 4B, the 6B, the 8B, because we're going to be doing value and shading, and having those dark pencils can be very handy. Also, I have a charcoal pencil. So this is not actually graphite. This isn't a lead pencil. This is actually charcoal. And you can see how it's just automatically much darker. Okay? It's a different type of drawing material, but you could also get charcoal pencils. And Conte pencils is another type of, Conte is like a charcoal but has a little bit more oil in it. And you can get those as well online. I would recommend picking up some extra pencils. They will definitely be worth your while, because everybody is going to love drawing so much that they're going to go through all of their pencils anyway. Okay, so let's talk about your ebony pencil. This is the one that comes in the kit, and this is a very handy pencil because it can shade like a dark, but it also keeps a nice point as well. So this is a very handy pencil because it does both ends of the spectrum quite effectively. Now, I want to go over a couple of terms right now. And the first one I want to talk about is gesture. And I'm going to use this word a lot in our lectures. So be aware that gesture for me is the movement of the hand. When I talk about gesture a lot, I'm talking about things like this, right? things that are very animated, have a lot of motion, a lot of movement. This is gestural to me. It follows the movement of the hand, okay? So when I say gesture drawing, I want something like this. I want something crazy, I want it creative, I want lots of drama and lots of action, okay? So that is gesture. Another term, I like drawing, as you can see, I like to draw in a gestural way. It's very fun, okay? So another term I'm gonna be referencing is using a liner when you are drawing. And what that means is getting a piece of paper, and it's any kind of clean paper, putting it on top of the drawing area that you've already worked on. This way, you don't accidentally, when you are drawing a new area, put this part of your hand on the darker areas and migrate it over, because your hand has oil here and it will definitely pick up the dark shading and it will move it into the clean parts of your document, which you don't want, okay? So a liner, always cover up the areas that you've drawn, and then you're able to work into new areas very easily without adding marks onto the page accidentally. Okay, so let's talk about what we're doing our class exercise today, and that is contour drawing. Now, contour drawing is when you are looking at an object and you are tracing the shape of it with your eye, okay? And what that can look like is that. So this is a contour drawing I did earlier, and it's of my little pencil sharpener here, and I have gone and traced the outline with my eye, right? Without shading. It's really an exercise in looking and an exercise in the actual shape of your object. So I'm going to do one right now, and I'm going to use one of the objects from our PowerPoint, which is the flower. Now, you can also use whatever you really want to draw. I mean, if it's an interesting shape and a nice outline, it's perfect for doing contour drawing, okay? If you have fake flowers around the house, they're also very handy. Normally, when we're in the lab, in the drawing studio at Seneca, we have fake flowers and you draw them in the studio the first week, but we're not there right now, so we're gonna have to improvise. So I have provided photographs of a couple objects I would like you to draw. So I've got 3 of those. You are then going to do 2 of your own for a total of 5 contour drawings today, okay? So again, you're gonna do the flowers. I've got 2 more in the PowerPoint, and then you're gonna pick 2 of your own objects, and that's whatever you wanna do. It could be your phone case, it could be whatever interests you, but the trick is you wanna do the outline of the object. So I'm gonna do object here, and you can see I've got my liner, so I'm not accidentally gonna pick up anything. Before I get started, I wanna show you how I like to sharpen my pencils, okay? So let me just quickly demonstrate that. This was from an earlier, when I was practicing our demo today on the various pencils. What I like to do is I like to use an X-Acto knife carefully. Do not cut yourself, please. And what I do is I gently will take off the cedar wood from the pencil, right? And then I will put a point on it after, okay? The reason why I do this is because it gives you more control over the shape of your pencil lead. And I don't know about you, but sometimes with my pencil sharpener, I'll get things nice and sharpened and then break off in the sharpener, which drives me crazy. So this does not happen when you use your X-Acto. So use your X-Acto carefully, and it'll give you a nice sharp point. And if you want to go even sharper on it, you can take the edge on a piece of scrap paper and give that a nice, where's my camera? There we go, nice sharp point. There we go. Okay. So let's talk about contours. A contour drawing is looking at the outline of a form and tracing it with your eye. So I'm going to do these flowers right now. You can do a cabbage. I don't mind. I like to draw cabbages. I just put one up in your PowerPoint because I think they're great to draw. If you have them in OpenGod, these lines, you know, you definitely can draw vegetables. But I'm going to draw my little flower here first of all. Okay, so this is really about looking, about, oops, that's not the right one. That's my charcoal pencil. I thought that felt very thick. Okay, here we go. I'm going to use my ebony pencil and so you're literally tracing the object with your eye. You're not worried about dark and light right now. You're only worried about the form, the shape of it. That doesn't mean you can't lift your pencil slightly to go lighter and then go darker. That's entirely up to you. You can certainly do that, but we're not shading on any of today's 5 drawings, okay, just to let you know. It's all outline like that. And it really is an exercise in looking, an exercise in really examining an object for the actual shape of it. Sometimes when we are working on drawings, we will kind of work on our cliche version of what we think something looks like, and we don't actually look at the object. Contour drawings are really good for actually studying a form, right? You really get into it. You're moving your eye basically as you're moving your pencil to trace out the form that is in front of you. In this case, I'm doing this flower here. Okay, so that is pretty much the shape of the flower. I've got a little bit of thing there, and then I'm going to go down and put it into the vase here. So I've got my, again, doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it won't be. This is a sketch. It's a way of learning how to really look at something. Okay, so that's how it works. Like you're going to be tracing out all of the edges of that form. For the contour drawing. Okay. And there we go. Can you see that? That is our contour drawing of two flowers in a vase. Mine was done quickly because I'm doing a demo. Yours, you will be able to take more time. And I will be lecturing on the history of drawing while you are doing your drawing today.